All right, everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. And today we're going to talk about 7 things I wish I farmed sooner in my account. I didn't want to include these in a sense of this is a regret I have because I think that at some point I made a decision and I feel pretty good about where my roster has ended up. But we're going to talk about 7 things I wish I had farmed sooner. Again, at 8.3 million galactic power, hindsight is 2020. But here's let's just get into it. I think you guys will think these are pretty cool. So first one is Emperor Shuttle. So the Emperor Shuttle was a ship that I just it's on a hard node. It has 2 pilots, and it's expensive. There's nothing really good on this node. It was brutal. And for the longest time I just avoided farming it. I just was like, nope, I don't need it. And then I started getting higher and higher in GAC and noticing that every single time somebody had this ship and I didn't, that I was just getting destroyed. So I started farming it. And again, it took a long time because ships take forever to farm. But the second I got it, I'm not exaggerating, my fleet got that much better. I could be confident in placing an Empire team on defense or bringing it on offense and actually being able to get use out of it and not come down to the wire because this ship makes such a difference to that fleet. And again, it was something that at the time I had a Relic 7 Palpatine, like Relic 3 Royal Guard from Sith Eternal, so I really didn't have an excuse to not get that ship. And now, being in the game where I am, I'm so glad I have that ship. It's a key part of countering profundity. And I think it's a really good example to start this list that if I hadn't even farmed it when I did, I was still like, I don't need it. And then profundity comes out, you're stuck for how long that you don't have that ship. So sometimes it's really important just to get those ships. And I'm going to release a video, probably talking, I don't know, probably come out tomorrow. That we'll talk about farming ships and how you can plan around that because they do take so long. All right, guys. So obviously Wampa is not on this list. I had Wampa super early, but Wampa's our reminder, guys. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. We want to hit 5,000 subscribers. If we hit 5K, Wampa hits Relic 8. It's that easy. And if for some reason you don't like Wampa and you think that the Relic 8 thing is stupid, like and subscribe, comment, get to 5,000 so that my daughters can go to college. I'm going to put that on you guys, massive guilt trip there. Not really, but hopefully it works and that some of you already clicked that subscribe button for it. So let's get this channel 5K, guys. All right, next is the Extinction Bomber. Again, notice another ship. I didn't farm this ship because I was like, oh, it's another like super expensive ship. Now, Fennec did share a node with this ship, which was nice, but it was one of those things that I just didn't want to farm the ship. I was like, oh, I'm not going to use it. Like, I already have the TIE Bomber. And then I started facing fleets that had this ship, and I kind of, regretted not having it. It was something that, again, with that Emperor Shuttle, took a fleet that was good and made it great. And again, it's one of those that it stinks. Like it's an expensive node, right? Like there's nothing good. There's no like good gear on it either. But it was something that I did, and I don't regret doing it now. The only regret is that I did it sooner because it really boosted that Empire fleet again. And at other times, it gave me the ability to split off that ship if I needed to use it elsewhere. All right, Revenant Malik. So if you guys know, if you watch the channel, I recommend getting these characters super early. You don't want to be like me, where I was, I think, 4 GLs in by the time I got Revenant Malik. Some of that had to do with me coming back into the game after a break and just looking at this state of the game and going after Galactic Legends. But I think part of the problem at the time was they were not accelerated rates, so it was a lot harder to get, if I could at least defend myself a little bit, gearing up 5 characters for Darth Revan and then Malak without the accelerated gear change, without the double drops was brutal. And now it's a lot easier to get these characters, but at the time, it was a much longer farm than just the Jedi Knight Revan, and so I felt that my time was better spent going elsewhere. Looking back, the impact they've had on my account, I really should have just farmed them earlier because that's how good they are. They're 2 characters that have completely, when I say revolutionized my GAC defense, offense, you bring them on offense, and if there's not a team that you need Malak in to beat with your Darth Revan, go solo a team with Darth Malak. And he will solo a lot of teams. So it really, they're 2 characters I really wish I had farmed earlier than when I did. I think I had 4 Galactic Legends before I had Darth, Revenant Malik. It was bad. All right, Emphas Nest is another one. Enfys Nest is a great character. She's one that's amazing. Again, she's on a fleet node like at the end too. Like she's on one of the last fleet nodes. No good gear on the node, but I just for some reason just never got around to gearing her, never got around to farming her. She actually has that bounty hunter special event that you can earn her shards for. But again, one of those situations that I really wish I had just bit the bullet and geared her up, even just to gear 12 as the squad title said. Whoops. Of course, I exited all the way out because I'm just, ugh. Let's get down there. Come on. There we go. Even just a gear 12. Like, she just stops so many people with that protection up. Whoops. And it was something that I think I really regret doing. Like, that I just really should have taken her. I mean, I should even take her higher than Relic 4. But in GAC, she's got me so many holds. She's soloed teams for me on offense. Again, guys, this is all a list of me finding stuff throughout my GACs that was stopping me or that was causing me problems. For a while there, I remember if somebody had Emphas Nest, the only counter I had was Nihilus or Mando. And that was it. That was the only way I was getting through Emphas Nest most of the time without using something insanely better than that. So, again, gear 12 would have been enough. All right, so we have Cup here as a placeholder for the Republic Ywing. So this was a huge mistake I made on my part. When I got my Negotiator, I had most of these ships already built. So I didn't have the Ywing, and I had the Houndstooth, right? So I at least had like the best, ship in the game. And I was more than capable of climbing on any fleet in the game at the time without the Ywing. I didn't need it on offense. I knew ways around it. As more players got Negotiator, because I was still able to get Negotiator pretty early for my shard, just with the way the fleet arena shook out kind of thing. There's a kitty. But yeah, so with the way fleet shook out, like Y-Wing started to be a huge problem for me because players, as we noticed, they knew, hey, Phil doesn't have the Y-Wing. He only has the Houndstooth. He's super easy to beat because, as long as I do this, I can win. And it was very true. Like I would fall farther than anyone else in that fleet arena. Now, I was still able to get first place every day, but I had to do more fights because I didn't have this ship. So, again, it was a situation where I started farming it, and it was funny, by the time I got it to 7-star, I actually think Executor came into the game, so I never even got to fully experience it in fleet arena as a positive for my fleet, which was brutal. That definitely hurt. That one stung a little bit. That one still stays to this day that I really should have just done that earlier. I don't know. You guys cannot see. My cat is literally, there she is. She literally just there's a little space over here on the desk and she just jumped on it. Anyway, so the next thing on the list here is the Dark Trooper and Range Trooper. Again, to make this list, I want to preface, this list is reserved for things that I purposefully didn't farm. This isn't a situation of, Sith Marauder, Extinction Bomber, I had Marauder, and then it came into the game. No. I had Marauder for the longest time and didn't get Extinction Bomber. I had these characters long before I was even thinking about farming the Shuttle. Revenant Malik, I was 4 Galactic Legends deep. So, it's another situation where these were 2 characters that I had that I just was like, you know what? I'm not ready to gear them. I don't want to farm them. I need other things, that's more important to me. And again, my cat, you see what she's doing? She's just running laps back here. Hopefully it's entertaining for you. But Range and Dark have completely changed my Imperial Trooper team, both in PvE and PvP, really have allowed me to expand what I can beat. And I just wish I had done it sooner. It was something that I was like, I can't afford to gear them. I need to get this, I need to get that. And I think had I taken a step back and looked at my roster, farming them would have saved me so much effort during other things or during other metas. And then the last one was Sith Empire Trooper. I at least had him at gear 12, but it took me forever to relic him, and I think I could have benefited so much earlier from having him at relics, even more so with I was using him a lot with like Treya and the Sith Triumvirate for a long time at Gear 12. And even if I had just taken him to Relics and left them at Gear 12, I still would have been better off. He just gained so much from Relics, right? Protection, the defense. I mean, he's just a really, really good tank. One of the best just meat shields in the game. If I really wanted to like dive into it, I mean, he just is so insanely good. But those are just 7 things, guys, that I kind of regret not farming earlier. I'm curious if what you guys thought this list would be. Again, criteria for it was stuff that I had in my roster or that I could have been ready for and I just delayed doing. Again, there's 3 ships on this list, guys. Ships, don't sleep on them. Again, look for tomorrow's video where I talk about ships, explain a little bit about the farming process and why it's going to be super important that you don't sleep on them throughout your farming plans, throughout your, Galaxy of Heroes journey, guys. Jeez Louise. Come here. She is crazy right now. You're crazy, girl, Nim Nim. Crazy. Like and subscribe, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.